And we're recording.
Who's introing?
I'm going to intro this time. Okay, ready?
Hey.
All right. So welcome to RVA Dirt's Municipal Mania. Fran?
Mania.
Oh my God. Heard every Wednesday at 11 a.m. right here on WRIR-LP 97.3 FM Richmond Independent Radio. And today, RVA Dirt is a drag.
Hey, the good kind.
The good kind, because we're tired, y'all. We're tired of this Panasonic Panera bread that we have been stuck in for a year now.
Yes.
And we wanted to invite our absolute favorite entertainers to the show to share with us how they've gotten by doing drag in a panty.
I'm just saying.
It's rough stuff.
Yeah, because we all stuck in the house and some of our favorite things to do. And I know the last time we all kind of got together and did a RVA Dirt field trip. And we actually just had our annual field trip would have been last week, which would have been Richmond Restaurant Experience.
Yeah, we would have done the trolley.
Yeah, it was the trolley, and we couldn't have that this year because of the panorama that's happening. So we couldn't have that, and so one of our other famous, rituals that we always do, we always go down to Wabi Sabi in Petersburg, and we go see our, famous queens, and we can't do that because we in a whole, panda bear. So here we go. Now what?
But Richmond Queens really did come together and give us like drive-in drag last year, and I remember I was at the very last one where we all froze our little booties off, but it was totally worth it. And so some of y'all were there, and I'd like for everyone to introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Whatever you want to say about you is totally fine, and we will start with Chicki.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chicki Parm. I've been doing drag for 6 years now here in Richmond. I do a lot of stuff around the city. I get to travel a lot outside of a panda bear. Is that correct?
Does it start with pan?
Yeah. I like when they go, like I've heard, I like when it's so bad that it doesn't even start with Pam, like maybe like Papa Bear even, or like just PA.
So bad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's me.
All right, Melanin.
Yes, I am Melanin Monroe. I've been performing in Richmond, Virginia, born and raised, by the way, for 4 years now. I am the host of Black Girl Magic every first Saturday of the month at Fallout RVA, and I'm just here to have a good time. I'm your auntie's favorite auntie.
Hey. Javon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Javon Love. I have been doing drag for 3 years, and I am a very crazy dancer. I would say a really I try to give an out of this world performance. I like to do a lot of things with fashion. I love a lot of looks, and I'm a stylist. So I've been trying to, do a little something on the side while I, work at Target and do drag. So that's me.
And
that's my Jay. Give him the looks, baby. Give him the looks.
A little look,
A look. And Identity Crisis, it's your turn.
Hello, everybody. My name's Identity Crisis. My pronouns are they and she. And I've been doing drag for 3-ish years, but really only dedicating to it since October 2019. I feel like my drag's a mix of scary, stupid, and slutty. I like impersonations. I like to give a sexy leather look. I also like to throw myself around and run around and scream and just be stupid. So I like it to just be a good time. I think drag is a really good place to build community, whether it's with other performers or with people coming to the show. That's always an opportunity to educate and to engage in that kind of way. And I work in education outside of drag as well. So that's kind of my trajectory.
Education.
Come on.
Yes.
Work.
Urban face today, may we add.
I know.
Thank you. These bags, I'm just tired.
This choker is everything too.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazon, $10.
Come on, Amazon. Oh, I love me some Amazon.
we're gonna have a conversation about
We know.
that
Ooh,
because y'all know that I
Yeah.
stay
not the
close to my drag
practices.
friends.
Not
I
the
do. I
practices.
stay close. I do though, but I stay close to my drag friends because y'all know a bitch. Excuse me, a heifer with big feet. Gotta stay close to my drag friends.
Not that.
Y'all
Not
know.
that.
Y'all haven't seen her feet.
No, have y'all not seen these size 12 feet on the sis?
Are you
I
size 12s?
size 12.
I remember
baby.
you said
Word.
Yes, and I have to stay close to my drag babies because y'all know where to find.
It's
these
hard
cute
to find
shoes.
shoes.
And
Yes.
I don't know where y'all be finding them from, but I will stop a queen. Excuse me.
I
You
literally
gotta go
have to
every
just,
time. I always go to the shoe show in Southside Plaza.
yes.
Well,
I mean-
maybe I need to just punch you in the throat once or twice and get in there before you get in there because I don't be getting them in there. When I go, they be gone.
Oh yeah,
I always try to start. Melanin got me on Fashion Nova, and like they really do have some boss shoes. I normally look on Pretty Little Thing, but yeah, Pretty Little Thing got up to a size 10 though. So sometimes you got to look on some other sites.
No, you got to be somewhere else but that Amazon comes through with a size 12 every once in a while.
They do.
Okay.
Yep. So, but anyway. Well, thank y'all. We're so glad that y'all are here with us today to just talk about, and for those, I'm sure our listeners are like, why the hell y'all talking about this today? What does this got to do with anything? Excuse me. We're in a panoramic. We're in a we're in a pandemonium right now. Okay.
What is Fran's making up?
A pandemonium?
Yes.
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my chest. Just Panadorium.
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
Yes. And one of the things that people are not talking about, one of the things that we all need to express right now is having fun and enjoying life. And if we're not talking about what we're doing to do that, if we're not talking about mental health, if we're not talking about what we're doing to take care of each other and self-care, I don't know why a lot of us are extroverts. I know I am, and I need to see people. I need to see faces. I need to love on folk.
I miss seeing all my little drag babies.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a community.
Yes.
And so you're not connecting, you're not touching your community. And when this started and we got locked down, like, who was the one who said, let's do some drive-in drag? Like, how did that start?
That was Grace Sweatpants.
Grace Sweatpants. Yep.
Grace Sweatpants.
It was like, we can still do this.
She works at Diversity, right?
Yep.
Okay.
She's on I think she's on the board at Diversity.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a super natural fit. Yeah, over the summer and throughout a bit of the fall, we did drive-in shows at Diversity Thrift. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, they were like the first gigs I was doing. Lockdown. And they were outside, they were in a giant parking lot. I mean, it could not have felt better or safer. And I remember the first couple shows there, like just seeing every car felt like this overwhelming reunion. Yeah.
The first time I cried because I was just like, I saw everybody, and it was nice to just be able to, even if it's from a social distance, be able to see everyone and like interact with people again that you missed and care about.
Let me tell you, they were hell to work though too, because it was so freaking hot.
It was so hot. I would pass out in the back afterwards.
Well, that's because you was doing cartwheels up and down the daggone street.
Cartwheels,
you did several of them up and down the street. Like we had,
and I would go into splits and dips. Like it was a lot
on granite.
Not on the granite, baby.
On the asphalt, baby.
I work in an office. I don't know anything about the outdoors.
I will say that was the best work that I got all of the pandemic though.
All my tights were torn.
Girl.
After the show, I was like, oh man, I really stepped on these rocks.
Scuffing up all the shoes.
All the shoes.
Yeah.
Well, like, when it first happened and everything started shutting down, were you like, what the hell am I going to do with myself? Like, what was your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but you two RVA Dirt kind of saved my ass a little bit in the beginning. Do you remember this?
I do.
Okay, so
I was hoping maybe you would bring it up.
Yes. That's how I know you two. So as things were shutting down, like before it was like, oh, this is really real. I had a huge show planned for Monday, March 16th. It would have been a year ago today.
Wow.
my gosh.
And we were having Nina West from RuPaul's Drag Race coming. to
Oh, I
Fallout.
remember. Yes.
And so that got canceled. So my thought was, oh, we're about to shut down. Let me do one last hurrah and gather some girls up so like we can get some last minute money and so Fallout can make some last minute money.
Mhm.
And I got tons of shit on Twitter for it because in my like, you know, I didn't, who fucking knew what was happening yet? You know, I was like, let this be the last one. Let me do one more. It was very that was my mindset. And so I got shit on Twitter and I said, all right, if you're gonna complain, then pay up. Because that's what because that's what I'm doing it for. You can yell at me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So you guys retweeted me and sent me money, I remember, and I ended up making way more than I would have made in the show, thank goodness.
Good.
But that was a lot because of you guys, and I really appreciate that. It really helped me get through that
That's
first
so
little bit.
sweet.
Well,
awesome.
I wanted to make sure, as somebody who is immunocompromised, that fans and stuff wouldn't come out and just gather like in this herd and just pass it everywhere. And Richmond would have, you know, a crisis because they went to one last drag show.
I know. I understand.
But we wanted you guys to be paid. Like, it's
Yeah.
important. Y'all survive too. You know,
yeah, it was very
it's not just
appreciated.
restaurant workers. I mean, there's comedians that are out of work, musicians that are out of work, and our queens are, you know, being threatened to be out of work too. And so we happily retweeted anyone who put out a Cash App for that, because we want y'all to survive and still be here and still be like dedicated to your craft.
I understood it in 3 days. I'm in a business that you know, thrives on, you know, parties and stuff like that. I'm an event florist. And so at the closing of the, you know, of the panoramic door, honey, that was the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was really worried about too with my styling. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to like work with my clients during like, because if they're taking pictures, they can't wear a mask. So it's like, I kind of was like, am I gonna have to put my styling on the back burn? But like, luckily, there's always like ways to social distance. So they would come and stand like at a social distance area. They would already have the clothes prepared for them and stuff. I know for me, like once the pandemic hit, I was like, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to have gigs throughout this thing. But luckily, like they said, with Grace Sweatpants booking us for like the drive-in drag, like that really got my hopes back up. Because I kind of hit like a little bit of a depression, you know, where I was like, this was like my, you know, drag is our life. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like for me, I know it made me feel more confident. And it just got me out of bed some days. So it definitely kind of hit hard sometimes throughout the pandemic, like not being able to do it as much and realizing how much money you missed out on, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, whether we like it or not, everything comes back down to how much coin you have. And so many folks have just been struggling.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like anytime you just want to, you know, throw out a Cash App, we'll retweet that anyway. You be right back. We'll just continue. Fran is the screen. But anyway, so after the drive-through, the drive-in drag has wrapped up, like what have y'all been doing to kind of pass the time? I mean, have you been doing stuff like this? Like how do you adapt?
Well, luckily, I mean, I personally have been experiencing recently shows are coming back more and more pretty much every month at this point. So I mean, Mel and I both run shows at Fallout, which they have, when I tell you every foot of space is accounted for, I am not exaggerating at all. Like we're having like 40 people depending on party size. I mean, we make a map for every individual show of how seating work. We're taking cash tips with like a sanitized butterfly net. I mean, we're doing the most.
The butterfly nets are so cute.
Yeah, so we're trying to do the most. I mean, in-person shows, you know, just frankly are back and are becoming more and more back at this point. But it is just a matter of doing them as safely as possible. I mean, like, admittedly, I just want my crowd to feel as safe as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care that much anymore. But I'm not immunocompromised. I'm pretty healthy. But like, I just want everyone who comes to Fallout or any of the shows I'm doing to just feel like, oh, they're doing this as well as they humanly possibly could. And I think we are doing that in Fallout.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Agreed, absolutely.
I definitely agree. A lot of bars, I noticed that like Fallout does, like they like sit at your table, and if you need something, somebody will come and grab it for you. Like you don't have to get up and
Yeah, we have a server walking around. It's the Fallout Applebee's crossover event of the century.
Not Applebee's.
It's so funny having
For
a
endless
server.
fries?
Yeah, having a server was such a gag for me because I'm like, Fallout having a server. Are you sure about that?
Oh, little wings with your spanking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why it really tickled me.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually always wondered, how do y'all come up with your persona? Was it just always in you, like who you secretly are? Or did you just cultivate it over years?
I'm the same person in and out of drag, so
Same.
like the whole Melanin persona is literally the exact same energy and everything that I am out when I'm just regularly me.
I know for me, I grew up a lot, like in the late 2000s was like what I like to call like the queerest time for entertainment and like pop music. Like I was in my room listening to like a whole Beyonce album and like lip syncing it in my bedroom, like just dancing to it for hours. I would like, and I feel like that's where my stamina for drag came from, because I would be in my room for like 3 or 4 hours just dancing and like lip syncing. And I feel like I always wanted to be on stage and entertain. Like I was like, but I could never do that. And drag was literally the gateway of me feeling like that pop star, that I like, that nostalgia feeling of just being happy and feeling free dancing. And I think that's why it's easier for me to dance in front of a crowd, because I try to see it as like the full fantasy that I was living when I was like 13 dancing in my room. And I really love fashion. I love like high fashion stuff. So I was like, I want to mix between that little 13-year-old gay who was dancing and the high fashion couture that I saw in my head, So that was me.
You might have come through with the pageant answer.
Was that a pageant answer?
Very much. You told a whole story. You answered the question perfectly.
I was trying to make sure I answered. Thank you. Because y'all know I be struggling to talk sometimes.
Baby, you
Melanin will tell you. Melanin will tell y'all, I'll be like I'll try to sing a song and I will just start remixing the words because I don't know all the words of the song.
Baby, it's the Javon remix.
Watermelon cantaloupe.
Watermelon cantaloupe.
But I mean, obviously, like,
you don't know.
I literally, I mean, when I perform, like, I know my songs, but like, obviously, when we be drunk, when we're drunk watching, what was it, Meet Dreamgirls, I'll be like, banana.
I have a question for my sister, since it was touched on by you guys. Do you think I'm the same in and out of drag personality-wise? I've been told differently, and I don't know.
I've seen you at shows and you like give the same energy. I feel like it's very, very warm and turned up.
Okay, then I'll take it.
I think so.
To me it is. Sure.
I remember the why can I never remember the name of the spot that's on like that island? It's like near.
Yes. Eastern Shore Pride that we do.
Eastern Shore Pride. Yeah, when we did that and like I talked to you, remember the question? I was like, Chicki, do you have emotions?
Oh yeah, like, do you have emotions? Yeah.
And you just were like, yeah. Love that. Because like that's fully Chicki's like comedy and personality. Like
was it you or someone else? Was it you or someone else at that gig said, do you think it's possible for you to fall in love?
I think that was there too. Was it
was it
Sweet Pickles? I think it was
so.
Pickles. Pickles was like, is it capable for you to be like, I was like, I swear y'all, Chicki, sometimes you'll go into this mode where you'll be super focused and like doing your thing and you can immediately just like turn it off and you'll just be like, okay, yeah. So like, how was your day? I'm like, ooh, I love it. It's beautiful. It's
the
just
business
Chicki.
mode switch.
Yeah, I'm hyper focused on like the coordinating of it all until it's like time to stop coordinating, I think.
I wish that I could have that much control over my focus, because I lose track of my focus.
Well, what about you, Identity Crisis? Because you really are a different sort of queen, and it's really up my alley, the like spooky weird shit. When I saw you do the Pennywise shit on
With the stupid wind like blowing it in my face.
Oh, the wind was terrible
I
that
was
night.
so upset, so I just had to walk backwards the whole time.
It was so impressive. I was so creeped out, and I like couldn't get it out of my head.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm sending this bitch $15 right now.
No, I appreciate that. I think for me, I'm a very quiet, introverted person, probably, as you can tell. I feel like in drag, I'm like more sociable, which is probably saying a lot when I'm still really introverted in drag. I know, I feel like drag for me is much more an extension of like who I actually am. I feel really reserved when I'm out of drag. I would say reserved, like very, I don't want to say professional, like I'm just not closed off. I'm just like very quiet. But in drag, I feel like I can just like be myself, and like I can wear whatever I want, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's great. And I'm like, wow, so nice. I love validity, right? So for me, it's a way to, right? Like, you know, it's a way for me to just kind of like embrace who I am, like gender wise. And I like to play with gender in that kind of way. And like, it was a way for me to kind of cope with my own personal struggles, my struggles with my identity, mental health, and just like putting it out there. And if people like it, like, cool, you do. Like I'll do, you know, there was a competition last 2019 to 2020 called Godfrey's Glamazon. And I did a number where I was literally covered in blood and like tied up in duct tape. And I can do that, but then I can also do like a disco song. Like, it's just really whatever I feel like.
And who won that competition?
I wonder.
I don't know. Some bitch. I don't know.
Identity Crisis won. She's a winner, baby.
I like the modest flex. I don't know.
Someone.
It was so long ago.
I know.
I think it's time for another crown.
Period.
I got vaccinated, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
Give me 2 weeks.
That's right.
Give me 2 weeks. Got the Johnson and Johnson.
Oh, you did?
One and done.
Oh,
I felt like death the day after, but
really, don't tell me.
I'd rather have a day worth of death than like
like a
feeling like
a lifetime
shit
or
for 2 weeks.
being dead.
Yeah, like
actually dying.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
I'm ready to get
Pfizer.
back out there.
Fran, you got Pfizer, right? And
I got Pfizer, and I didn't have any side effects. So
no, I still have.
I got my second shot. I'm 2 shots short. I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God, I've never been so thirsty for somebody to stab me with a needle in my life. I've been trying to get an appointment.
I know. I keep refreshing the freaking Rite Aid thing.
Literally.
Try Kroger as well.
If you go,
are they?
If you go
there's
to
like a
the
wait list,
Virginia
isn't there?
Department of Health website,
yeah,
there, and
I registered on that one
every
already,
time they text you and tell you to update your information, even if your information hasn't changed, just update it because it puts you back up.
Let me go in there and do that right now.
And I've been.
I know.
I'm going to
go on
keep
my
on
laptop,
updating
child.
Okay,
For
not
real.
to bring it back to Identity Crisis again, but I just want to say Identity Crisis. One of my favorite things about you is you are such a good dancer while being spooky. I think it's such a fun, like, was it dichotomy or I don't know, two thing? Contrast. Where you'll do like a spooky look, but then you're such like a good, like voguey dancer. I think that's like not a common gig.
Combination.
It's really fun, yeah.
We stand the versatility.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love this group anyway.
Which is like drag in and of itself.
It's the mug for me. I'm still stuck on this mug. It is so good. I love it.
Are you going to start? Is it the beard a thing, or did you just not want to shave today?
I'm not going to tell my secrets. I didn't want to. See, what I was thinking, like, no, I didn't want to shave today, but this took just as much time as like shaving. So I was like, it's something different. Yeah, I like haven't wanted to shave lately. So I'm also like, you know,
same.
Panorama, mentally ill. I'm just like, do I have the energy to shave? I'll just wear a mask, you know?
There you go.
Yeah. With eyeshadow
Talk about
and
the mental stuff too, y'all, because you know, Fran and I, before our hiatus, we were talking a lot about self-care and taking care of your noggin, because this shit will mess you up. Like if you
Seriously.
are just sitting around with me, myself, and I all day long, every day, or worrying about where your coin is coming from next, like, how are y'all doing?
I'll say, I think for me, the one thing that I recognize I'm very privileged to have is like drag is not my main source of income. So for me, I'm
Yeah.
very blessed, and I acknowledge that. I try to acknowledge that as a person, but just like outwardly as well. Like I don't have to, like I stopped doing drag in November until now because the cases were going up and I had the option to do that, which, you know, not everyone had that ability to do so. So, you know, it's something that like, mental health wise, I'm able to focus on that because I didn't have to put myself in those situations. But I think it's definitely like, I try to take that time to like make sure that in my job, like when I'm talking to other people that I work with, students that I work with, that like that's the main focus. If I have that ability to focus on it, how do I help other people kind of do that as well? Like what are resources that are, you know, at my location of work or in the community that people can utilize? You know, I try to donate money when I can as well, if that's something that I'm able to do. So like, my brain's not working. Like the different GoFundMe's and things that are out there right now, like trying to do that as well. Because if I can't physically participate, I feel like a financial piece still helps in that kind of way.
Yeah. I know for me, I got really down, I think, once it started, because I had just graduated from college in like 2019. So as soon as 2020 hit, it was like 3 months of what do they call after college depression? Post-grad. Right?
Post-grad brokenness.
Of that part, yeah.
Yeah.
When you realize that you worked like so long to get a degree that, you know, ultimately like could or could not help you in your life, you know, it just kind of gets you down. And as soon as I got like my confidence and I got back out of like that depression, like the pandemic happened. So I was like, dang.
Well, and you had just moved up here.
I had just moved to Richmond. I was so excited about it too, because I was like, I'm going to be able to like do more gigs and really get myself out there. And that also, I feel like kind of, I don't know. I just feel like I've always been making school my priority, and I finally have the chance to like be an adult. And then it immediately got crushed by COVID, because now I can't really like enjoy the positive things about being an adult. I'm just worrying about bills and like crying because I only ate once a day. Not on purpose either. Like I normally just forget because I'm like, I gotta work. But also like I'm working at Target too. So I got a job right as soon as COVID started. So I feel lucky and privileged that I was able to even get a job right around the time of the pandemic starting. So yeah, it's a little rough.
Well,
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll go. So I am a full-time drag queen. I used to be a developer at the state, and then I quit that at the end of 2018 because drag was picking up so much and it was like too busy to do both, and I was making way more money from drag. It affected me a lot. One thing I really learned about myself was I put so much of my, I would say, self-worth into my career and work and stuff. Like not even the art, I would say more so the business of it. That's what I really like.
Chicki is a businesswoman.
I know. Yeah. I love like the idea of you shouldn't be able to live off of drag, so let me do it well. Like that, like prove you wrong. Anyway, so I love that. But so that was really what hurt me in the beginning, was like I just felt useless because I didn't have the one thing that for me gives me so much value to, to myself. So I just felt like a useless piece of shit, really. But I got really into fitness during the pandemic, so I kind of was able to like put that energy somewhere else. And now like I don't know, it was nice to be able to dive into like a healthy habit and improve myself.
Those vibes over here.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, so that has really been my saving grace during the pandemic, is like working out. And then I will say one thing that is really interesting about the pandemic is, I don't know about you ladies, but I feel like we've been making way more money per gig, per show during the pandemic. Like I'm only working maybe 5 shows a month right now, but like I'm making enough from those 5 shows to like be alive. You know what I mean?
You feel like
So, and I think
people are taking care of you.
yeah, people are taking care of us, and I think like virtual tipping is a lot of that. We're pushing virtual tipping so much now at shows that people send way more at a time.
It's so much more convenient.
It's convenient. And that's something that I was getting into before the pandemic as well. We started putting stuff on the TVs at like Thirsties and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that will just be an ongoing thing. I mean, I'm really expecting like a nightlife boom after the pandemic.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping
for sure.
It's gonna be
I feel
crazy.
like July and August and September are gonna be literally insane.
Yeah, baby, we
I can't wait.
we got Hard Candies and the Famous Girls planned all like August on. So we got plans, baby.
Excellent.
But yeah, so and I'm hoping that the virtual tips of it all will continue, and we'll continuing to be making more money per show.
Excellent. How about you, Melanin? How did you take care of yourself mentally through all this?
So the whole pandemic, I ain't even gonna lie, I struggled a lot mentally. While things were like starting to go really good that year, like, you know, Black Girl Magic was taking off, a lot of good success, getting a lot of momentum. Then the pandemic hit, and then it just cut straight down. And then like I put a lot of my focus into my drag and making my drag better. But like that whole time period, I was putting so much pressure on myself to just push myself to be better, like get the makeup better, perform better, do all this other stuff, buy all this new stuff, and figure out how to sew, do hair, and all this other shit. And like, I think the pandemic really sucked, but like it helped me in a sense of being able to put a lot of my self-worth into other things besides just my drag, like just doing things just for who I am out of drag. You know what I mean? For just that person. So like a lot of just focusing on taking a step back from the drag, because it just took me a lot of time to just get myself back on track. But I got back on track, and then bookings and things started to come, and then I like really kind of dug myself out of my little rut that I was in. And then Black Girl Magic has come back. And yeah, things are back on the up and up basically. But it was rough in there. Me and my therapist had many a good old chit chat, but we here now.
We love a good therapist conversation, baby.
Absolutely.
I feel that I have her on speed dial.
Absolutely.
Period.
I'm always very pro therapy. It's not talked about enough in the Black community.
That part.
Yeah, therapy is a blessing for sure. And if you don't have one, get one. Seriously, get you two.
I always say I feel like it should be like as regular as like going to the dentist every like 6 months or so. I feel like that should be like a regular thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard someone say that it's like your brain is basically like a muscle, and if a muscle starts to, you know, get hurt, you have to take care of it. You know, if you sprain your ankle, you have to be off your ankle. So why not do the same with your brain when you go to therapy and work on your traumas and just different things that you've experienced? You know, you can't expect to grow and evolve in a positive way if you're not gonna, you know, take care of it. Basically.
Truth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think COVID was don't get me wrong, absolutely negative, terrible. But I think it helped a lot of people kind of reflect on like, oh, I was putting too much. And I feel like similar to y'all, like a lot of my worth was like, how much drag stuff can I do? Like how much hair can I do?
Yep.
How many gigs can I get? How much money can I make? And then I felt like I was putting a lot of my worth in my like work outside of drag as well. And I was like, who am having an identity crisis?
It's overwhelming.
Like,
you did that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think it helped people reflect on like, all right, well, what is important? Like similar to you, Chicki, like I do a lot of physical fitness now, and that's been something that like it gives you something to look forward to, and you know, life isn't just working. So
look, I'm ready to go back to life being just working shit.
Yeah.
Well, I have kind of the opposite perspective where I'm like, Jesus, I will never complain about anything about a gig again. Like I'm just so happy to work.
Chicki is a
Absolutely.
workaholic.
I am such a workaholic. I would work a show every day if I could.
I remember you telling me
if
that
you do it well, Hell yeah.
I am very much ready to work again. Now that I have my 5th new face, I'm ready.
Fifth new face.
5th new face. I can't.
Oh, the pandemic has seen about 5, 6 different melanin faces. I don't know. I can't keep up with them now, but they better because it was looking real ashy a couple years ago.
I think that's also something too, like how you guys said you guys were working on your drag. Like I feel like that was something that was so important to me because I was trying to pinpoint where I wanted my drag to go. And I feel like this pandemic has given me time to really come up with more concepts. Cause I feel like every year with my drag, I'm trying to come up with like a new concept to kind of keep my brain, you know, focused on where I want to go. So I feel like this pandemic kind of gave me time to sit back and not just reflect on my drag, but reflect on who I am and putting more of who I am into my performances and my looks and just making the crowd always feel something. Cause I feel like that's the most important thing for me as a performer and as a drag queen is just to get the audience through whatever we're dealing with and make them feel entertained and just feel like that moment of happiness, you know, especially right now. Yeah. That's why I love seeing their face after I do a good old cartwheel into a dip. They'll be like, and I'm like, yes, baby, that's fine. You know.
Oh my God. Fran,
I found fitness. I found fitness in the Panda Bear too. I did. And it was I think if I hadn't, I wouldn't have survived. But
I agree. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I lost 50 pounds and I was happy about it. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Amazing.
you better.
Word.
oh, she looks
Girl,
incredible.
and the big gag is you was always slaying me regardless.
Right?
Period.
Oh,
That
Beautiful.
I was coming for that size 8 and I was like, you gonna give it
Come
to me.
on.
Yes.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Better.
And I was in that gym and then I got to the point where they were acting crazy in the gym and they weren't cleaning it to my, because I'm a germaphobe. They weren't cleaning it to my standards. So I was like, that's fine. I'll just make me a gym at home.
And you did.
Absolutely.
I certainly did. I built me a gym at home, and I've been at it. And so I think if I hadn't have had that, I've always been into fitness anyway, but I had gotten away from it. And you go through. I'm a workaholic too, Chicki. I'm that's me. I actually just left my daytime part-time job that I'm a fixer. So I find things and I like to fix things, right? And I'm an HR professional by profession, right? And so I was an HR manager for a towing company. And so throughout this panorama, I have been essential staff for this company. And have been working there for a little over 3 years. And throughout the pandemic, I had to go, and I was just like, this is too much. It was a long commute.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. I mean, it was an hour from my home.
Oh,
yeah.
That is a drive.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was putting miles on my car. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I bought a new car.
And you did.
Come
and you
on,
got to get your car.
And I was like, we just gonna get this together. And so I left the job like literally last week. And all these other businesses, I have others that, you know, I'm always, and then here comes somebody else. They just keep sending me new business. I don't know who keeps signing me up for new businesses. Here we go again. Somebody keeps signing me up with the SEC with a new darn business. So here we go. But yeah, like I'm fine with working for myself and making it work, and I work from home and I'm cool with it. I done made me a cozy little office and here we go. And I can't say I can't go without working doing something, but I can make it do right here. But if I hadn't had fitness, I'd have been a sad little puppy too, because
I think I'm
people.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little bit of a workaholic, but I try not to think of it as like work for me. Cause like I do, I work at Target, but then I do fashion styling and drag. And I feel like drag is something that takes up or used to take up a lot of my time, but I was able to kind of balance between fashion styling and drag now because of, I don't book as many gigs. But that kind of helped me put more perspective in seeing it as like, something that's fun and work. But like, I try to see it as fun first, because then now when I do it, it's like, I get to work with my clients. It's like, it's my time to feel good and like,
Yeah.
feel like the normalcy.
Yeah. I work from home anyway. I do audio editing for the most part, so I'm at home anyway. So during the pandemic, I discovered GBBO. I discovered the Great British Bake Off, and
Oh, I was like, wait, what's that?
I gained the COVID-19 because I couldn't stop baking cakes.
Oh my god!
And so I taught myself to decorate cakes.
Yes.
Oh my god!
While still doing my audio editing and doing work for the station and whatnot. But I really find it interesting, all the things people have done, like to create work and busy things for themselves during this, so that they're not just sitting there staring at the wall and being like, I'm talking to my cat for the millionth time today.
It drives me crazy just like sitting down and not having my brain focused on something.
Yeah.
I got a whole t-shirt sweatshop in my dining room. Like I just told Melissa today, I don't.
If you want to work your little fingers to the bone, Fran, it'll get you going.
Listen, I got a whole t-shirt sweatshop in my dining room.
Sweatshop.
Oh my god!
Like,
she was like, "What are you doing now?" She's like, "Is that another side hustle?" I was like,
I know. I was like,
I don't want another one. But I did buy a whole heat press, and I got some t-shirts to do.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes,
we love the word.
Logos and
come on.
There was a race car that's being built.
Oh, not
a race car.
Not pretend I didn't see.
It's just like nope.
And a whole logo and.
Yeah, so if you guys, if y'all need shirts and things to promote yourself,
I was just about to say, so t-shirt company,
yeah.
should I contact?
Oh my gosh, we could have you walking around Richmond. Everybody has your face. It'd be incredible.
Right.
I mean, I will send you my information.
Yep, my floral business is called Francesca's House of Flowers, and she was like, "So it's gonna be Francesca's House of Flowers and T-shirts and
race cars."
Like, cut it off, no more.
You better expand the business.
We don't need any more. My husband and I run a car dealership already, which we've had for several years, and I have a whole real estate business on my own. We don't need none of
Do you sleep?
Those plus HR,
right? Like
plus these?
Huh?
You were doing those two plus the HR job plus everything else?
Yeah, plus RVA dirt.
Yeah. I can barely make a sandwich without getting stressed out.
When do you sleep? What?
What a money.
Fran closes her eyes for 2 moments.
We're
and
all
then
like,
she's refreshed. And back to work.
Let us pray.
You just reboot.
Boom. Here we go. Plug it back in.
I love that though. That's a hustle.
That's absolutely a hustle.
I do. I have
Francesca's House of Hustles.
That's what it needs. That's what it should have been called. Because
that would have been it.
I have a whole consulting, like a political consulting firm too. I forgot to throw that in there. Yeah, that too.
What?
6 jobs, no big deal.
No big deal.
Nothing.
That. Yeah.
I know.
And now apparently
she makes you feel so lazy, even though you know you're not.
I do feel a little lazy now.
I was gonna say,
no, when you were saying, "Oh, I hate just looking at the wall," I love just looking at the wall. I'm like, I don't have to think for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, blessings. I can't clear mind.
I can't sit still. That's why I understood when y'all were describing Chicki. I was like, "Yo, we here."
I can relax after a little bit of puff pass, but like my
What's
normal
that?
self is so jittery.
I don't
green.
No, I can't even. Somebody was like, "Hey, we might want to ask Melissa." I cannot partake of any of those things because I'm terrified that it might slow me down and I might miss something important. I can't.
If you know you got a busy day, I probably wouldn't. But for me, I
Well,
know right
hold
now I just
on.
be chilling.
It all depends on the strain.
It depends
that
on who you
get.
are and the strains.
I'm still coming down off of caffeine highs since my sophomore year of college. I don't need
I feel that.
caffeine right now. Like
Absolutely.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I am on a natural life high. I am always there. Like
I was too scared to ever get into caffeine because I already was like, I have a borderline shopping addiction. I don't need anything else. Like that already takes up like most of my money.
Yeah, I always look. There's coffee here too, but you know,
I have a water addiction. I drink like a gallon and a half of water a day.
That's a good. Wow,
This episode brought to you by
Yes.
Canada Dry Bold.
Bring that back on up.
Come on, Canada Dry.
I love me
I
a
got
bowl.
a drawer of Seagrams over there. I got Seagrams. I'm a Seagram. Yeah, I'm a water drinker. I can't.
I had to start drinking the water just because you said that.
Yeah.
We have about 15-ish minutes left, and
really? Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Told you it flows. It goes quickly.
It goes so fast.
We've been sitting here chitting and chatting, child.
That's how it works.
That's the best. That's the best thing, though.
It is. So, what are you ladies looking forward to? And as we're now coming out of pandemic, you know, we're now kind of closing out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. 2 shots, shawty, 1 shot, shawty. Let's go. Right. Now things are starting to open up. You know, what are we looking forward to? And we've also gone through a lot, you know, because we talk about politics, and that's not something we'll miss out on. Politics we've gone through a roller coaster of ish, right?
Yeah, we really have.
Whoa, right? And so, with all of that going on, has any of that affected your lives, your livelihood?
Absolutely.
Any of that? Yeah, like what has been going on with that? Because I know that has been, I mean, she and I can barely keep up with some of this stuff. And so like
I'm so like hyper focused on it. Like I guess for me, I have to know what's going on, because if not, my anxiety is going to run wild. So I get a lot into politics. And of course, because of my, you know, being Black and being queer, I feel like the agency of needing to know what's going on. Like, I don't want to wake up one day and my rights are being taken away. Because as we know, under Trump, like, he was really trying to ruin everything for everybody. And like, I just was so terrified all the time. Not terrified, but my anxiety was making me run wild. So the more I knew, the more I was like, at least I know about the bullshit going on, and I'm not just like sitting around. Because before 2016, I was kind of like oblivious to politics. So now I'm like, I want to know what they're saying. I want to know what's going on, because they'll say one thing in our face and then go and like we're supposed to get what? We're supposed to get like 3,000. Now we're supposed to get 2,000, and you know, like stuff like that. It's just. Anybody else want to jump in? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. They doing the same thing with weed legislation here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said
really?
weed,
What are they
marijuana?
doing?
What are they doing?
I've been watching that. I've been trying to keep up with the way they're trying to legalize it, and it looks like it's just an absolute travesty.
Are we
In
surprised?
what way?
Yeah, so I've actually been following that very closely because I've been heavily involved in that process, and it's been wild.
So
what are they saying?
Trying to make all kinds of like stipulations and rules and stuff. Yeah.
Of course they are.
Yeah. So, you know, you've got different groups that, of course, are trying to advocate for one of the issues that really happened when medicinal was legalized was the shutting out of outside groups or third-party groups, independent groups that wanted to get into the process, right? And they made it very, very hard for anybody that wasn't a big group, a big organization, to be able to do that. And there was no cut in, there was no equity in that process. And so a lot of organizations really wanted to make sure, and there's two really big parts to that. One part is there's a hell of a lot of revenue that's going to be brought in from the legalization. And so as that revenue comes in, how do we take that revenue and we divert a piece of that revenue, a chunk of that revenue, back into the Black and brown communities that it has literally had your foot on?
That
during
part.
the process, you know what I'm saying, as these people have been locked up, incarcerated, lives have been suppressed, depressed through this process, how do you now create equity in that process in terms of you know, expungements for those records? How do you, and if they are interested in getting licensures or, you know, certifications to legally sell now, how do you create equity in that process? Should they be given first priority? How does that work, right? How do you give them the proper training? Just because they sold weed on the street, right, doesn't mean that they know the proper process for growing, for distribution, for all of these other things to meet the criteria, right? And so how do you create equity in that process? And the other piece is you have, you know, a whole situation surrounding how do you keep the bigger groups from coming in and swooping all of those licensures away. And they've been looking at, as the bill has been, and the bills, numerous, have been drafted, they've been looking at different models. You know, they looked at Jersey, they looked at Chicago, they looked at, you know, or Illinois, they looked at Colorado, you know, they looked at all these different places as the models. And they looked at Baltimore or Maryland, you know, all these places may have been models, but so many people did it one way, and then they realized that their model wasn't perfect.
Right.
Their model had flaws. And so then so many people, so many of those models, when they realized, oh, we tried this and we tried to write equity into this, but we effed up.
So learning from the mistakes of the others.
But not only that, but these other models, even once they figured out that they did something wrong, they tried to go back and fix it, right? And that's the odd thing with equity. When you go in and you realize, oh, well, this is how we distributed the licensures, right, for legalization. We messed this up, so now let's go and try to go back and fix it. How do you go back and fix it? And, I mean, that's reparations, right? How do you go back and fix that? And it's very hard to do that backwards, right? Because you've already started the process. And so they call themselves looking at these other models to try to fit themselves around. But that's the thing about the Commonwealth. We don't function and we don't have the same parameters as some of these other places. And so you've also got egos involved. You've got people speculating that, you know, legalization is not going to be passed right now because, you know, you've got this current governor is worried about a legacy, and other governors, you know, they want it to be passed on to the next governor so that they can get credit and blah, 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 blah. So you've got all these things that are working in tandem. And really think about who would govern the process. So if it does get legalized, who's going to be the governing board? And right now it's gone under ABC, right? Well, if you're talking about creating equity in a sense of equity through an equity lens, ABC is historically white, white old money, right? So if you're talking about creating equity, how is that going to work? Right? So they're like, we don't want ABC to be involved. We want to create an equity board. We need to create another organization to, you know, to look at the control of the legalization of marijuana. And so if that's going to be the case, you know, then who's that organization? That's months in planning. That's something. So even if you do pass the bill and you legalize it, it's going to take time to create and craft that board, that whatever that's going to look like, right? And so all these things are kind of, so it's not just a boom, it's legalized, let's spark up. Like,
and Lord knows I wish it was, child.
It's never that simple with stuff like that. You know, they're always going to try to make it Virginia, difficult. Child. Yeah, especially in Virginia, like they do not.
And people don't understand. And I think that's the part, like people are looking at this thinking, yes, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be quick. We're going to be good. I can stop hiding my weed plant in the closet. I can put that bad boy on the front porch and everything's Gucci. Nope.
Not
going to work. Not going to be that way. We still got several years before we get to that process, I think, because, you know, people are still fighting back. You even got people that think, you know, you've had several folks in legislation speak up and say, well, we're talking about a lot of money, a lot of revenue that's going to be taken in from the prospect of legalization. And folks have stepped up and said, okay, well, one of the things we've had that have been historically defunded is our pre-K education, right? and that disproportionately affects Black and brown students, right? In the state of Virginia. And education is the foundation of your everything, right? And you got people that are like, F them kids.
I was about to say, I knew you were gonna say that.
F them kids.
And the only reason they're saying that is because they're Black and brown.
And they're like, but it's Black and brown people saying it. They're like, nah.
Damn.
They're like, right. They're like, no, F them kids. The state is responsible for paying for education, for education. Let the state figure out how to fund that. That is their responsibility anyway. That money needs to go to XYZ. And it's like, but this already, that disproportionately affects us anyway. Why can't we figure this out? Well, they shouldn't have defunded the da-da-da. Like, bruh. Yeah, so it's whole mess.
Crazy.
It's just a grab because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of revenue that's going to be coming in. And I mean, I've had these arguments. I've had people come to me and be like, okay, well, look, I think that, you know, you're kind of in the mix here. Can we talk about this? We think that X amount of dollars should come out of the state, you know, budget, and it should just go to the Black community. And I was like, okay, so could you tell me in the state budget, which line item says the Black community? Where is that? Like, there has to be a line item that we have to tell me where this line item, like, what does that line item say? Where that I don't remember seeing that in the state budget that says the Black community. Like, we have to find.
And that's what I mean. Like just how people they'll say one thing, but then when it's all said and done, it's like all these stipulations are involved. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. This doesn't sound like anything that I thought it was before, you know? Because they always hide the details, you know, where they know people aren't really gonna go and read them.
Or they don't know, or they just talk a lot of stuff and they don't know what the hell they talking about. Like
that too.
We want such and such to go to the Black community. What is that? What is that? The Black community.
We get a portion of the funds.
The Black community CO.
Yeah, like where? Like where in the Black community? Where? And then when we say, okay, in the Black community in education, and they're like, F them kids. Hold on, sir. Wait. No. F them kids.
See, we managed to tag politics in anyway.
Ding.
Somehow
Y'all did that.
Bring that in.
So yeah,
it's just
that's
crazy.
what's going on with that. But yeah.
Well, what? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say before we close out, I wanted to make sure that y'all got an opportunity to shout out like all of your social media, any upcoming shows that you're putting on from April on, because this will actually air the first week of April.
Mm-hmm.
So anything from there on, any way folks can contact you, come see you, etc., etc. However,
Cash App.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, make sure that you promote the shit out of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'll start. Everyone, if you're wondering where you can find me on Facebook at Javon Love, JAV as in Victor, ONLOVE. And you can find me on Instagram. That's JAY_SLAYS23. My cash out is, I always got to remember because
You need better handles.
I know, I changed it twice. I need to change it, but it is JAY dash Styles 23. I remember this time.
I'm gonna remember that.
Change it, for real. And I believe shows in April. Oh, I'm gonna be doing Black Girl Magic with the host Melanin Monroe. April 3rd.
That's gonna be a day.
That's gonna be a day, child. And we are all gonna be, because we got dancers in the show, child.
Hello.
Okay.
Well, I guess picking back and off of that, I can go ahead and go. Yes, the name is Melanin Moneybag Monroe. I can be found on Twitter at Moneybag Monroe, found on Instagram at Melanin Monroe RVA. If you want to to Venmo me, you can catch that on Venmo at Moneybag Monroe or Cash App Moneybag RVA. I host Black Girl Magic first Saturday of every month currently at Fallout. Those tickets can be found on all of my links on all of my social media pages. And that's all.
And that's it.
Who wants next?
Stunning.
Go Identity.
Hello. So my Wow, my brain stopped working. My main form of contact and social media is Instagram. You can find me at Identity Crisis XO, IDENTITY Crisis XO. Same as my Venmo and Cash App, they're all Identity Crisis XO, and my Twitter is also Identity Crisis XO without the E's because character limits. I currently don't have any upcoming shows because I was in hiding, but I'm gonna get out there sooner rather than later.
Hey, you need to pick up your damn foxtails from me.
I'll be at the Black Girl Magic show, so I'll see you then.
I'm not booked in that.
Go to attend.
Chicki will be working.
Y'all never know when she might make an appearance. I'm just joking. I can't do that.
Y'all never know when she'll show up.
All the bookings I've given you, Melanin.
Well, I can't do that.
I'll get them from you eventually.
Okay, good.
I'll invite you to the cookout when that gig starts happening.
All right, and I'm Chicki Parm. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Chicki Parm. That's CHICKI Parm, and that is my Cash App as well, $ Chicki Parm. Right now, I'm doing a brunch the first Saturday of every month at the Camel, which has been great so far. Yeah.
Right underneath the station. That's exciting.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it really is.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Word.
I live like right there too. We're neighbors.
Yay!
Yeah, and Melanin will be in that show. That's on the next one's
Excellent.
April 3rd, the first Saturday of every
Perfect.
month, brunch at the Camel. And then I'm doing Extra Cheese Dragon Comedy Show at Fallout the third Saturday of every month. So that's a night show. So yeah, first Saturday of every month, brunch at the Camel, third Saturday of every month, Extra Cheese at Fallout.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, y'all, thank you. Thank you for this lovely, rousing conversation. It's been a blast. Definitely a
Thank you
mood
for having
lifter.
us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
anytime.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, anytime. You ever just want to kind of like chit chat and whatever. Here we are. We have a platform. Might as well use it for to promote the folks we love the most.
Not to
So,
mention, y'all talk about great topics.
thank you.
Mhm.
We have a lot of really cool shows coming up. So pay attention. Hopefully something will catch your fancy.
Absolutely.
And it's budget season for us in RVA Council land. So that's a hot topic. Really sexy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's where we'll
I'm
be
like-
most occupied probably.
Oh, sorry, y'all couldn't even hear me. I was complaining about 708 pages long.
Yeah,
Oh, were you
the budget
really?
is 708 pages.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
It's
all
a tome.
That's 707
ain't.
more than I'm willing to read.
Yeah.
That part.
I know. I like the highlights. I'm like, who's going to give
Can I
me
get the Cliff
a
Notes
PowerPoint
version?
presentation?
I'm working on the cliff notes.
Okay.
Yeah, we love a Cliff Note version.
I always share. I shared with y'all last year when y'all were on the show my birthday shoot. I'm gonna share them in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
think I can. Let me see if I can.
Because they're very sexy.
When we stop recording, we can.
But
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I need to close.
You need to close us out, Fran. But again, thank y'all so much. This has been a blast. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
Fran,
y'all.
close it.
All right. So y'all know what time it is. New Jersey has dirty water. Flint certainly still does. And I think Petersburg, they told me, does too. So we might need to check on that, get your bottle of water. Okay. RPS was fully funded last year and we working on budget season. So I'm gonna need for council to go ahead and make sure that RPS is fully funded this year and next year into infinity and beyond, Buzz Lightyear style. Let's get it done. Okay. And just in case you didn't know, I know it, you know it, we all know together. Richmond is most certainly still racist, but we're working on it. One day at a time. Talk to you next week.